Now, hope I don't screw this up. It's possible.
A block of wood is never just a block of wood. It's a starting line. It's alive with possibility. Listen carefully. It's saying something softly. Let's do something.
So we're going to use this table saw dovetail blade, and it simplifies cutting out your tails on the top and bottom panels. Now, it's also awesome if you're starting out cutting dovetails because it creates a nice true square tail to begin with, and then you only have to hand saw one side of the joint. Back in the old days, and when I was with Pug, we used to always cut these by hand, and you know, it's kind of fun to start out because they don't get seen really, and there's low pressure. All right, that's all you have to do is to mark it out. I just created a template of one of the ends, and I'm just marking the one side for the angled blade to cut, and the ends we're going to get indexed off my line. So I made this little line on the sled to indicate where to start with that large half pin, and I just index there, and then I'll mark out on the panels for this left side, my left, of each one of these, and then we'll flip around, we'll get this half pin, and then once we cut one half, we just flip around and we use the cut edge to index off the line, and that will create the width of the actual cutout to create our tails. Yeah, when I first started doing this method, I was shocked how fast and easy it was. It's in some ways it's easier than using a full-blown dovetail jig because there's so little setup and you can quickly cut them out. Okay, so I'm going to put it on there like that. This just wanted to get it flush with the front, and then move it back. Get everything aligned with the knife line. Being careful not to move. So I've got the flat back of my marking knife right against the tail. Ensures that we get spot on. That's that. Now, before I forget, I want to make sure I scribble on what I'm taking away. I still scribble on the waist every time. Occasionally, I notice a gap, and it's funny, it's exactly the size of the saw curve. And I know I saw it on the wrong side of the line there, but it's just a lack of focus. What's nice about this is it gives you kind of a raking light, and the knife lines really jump out, so you can see them much better. I'm gonna saw these all on the waist side of the knife line, and I've got a 15 point per inch rip tooth dovetail saw, and I'm gonna let that saw just touch the knife line on the waist side. So it sounds harder than it is. It's actually not once you get the hang of it. And I'm gonna oversaw these too. You see, you may say, Tom, that was horrible. But I like oversawing. It actually helps you to clean out the material that's down in that corner when you gotta clean out this socket area. And I also like the fact that you're leaving behind the marks of the maker. I love looking at those old, 200-year-old chest, and you look up inside, either inside the drawer front or up inside the chest like this, and you'll see oversawn dovetail cuts. And you say, I could do that. Plus, none of this really is going to be seen on top here. If you do miss, it's okay. Just miss to the waist side, and you'll be able to just pare it off with a chisel. But after missing a few times, you'll try to hit it more often because it takes more time to fit it up that way. So if you can saw it right to the line, you save yourself a lot of time. I clean out that waist, and to help get that out, rather than chop it all out with a chisel, I'm going to go to the drill press using a Forstner bit and waste out most of it. It makes it much easier to come on back to the bench and chop it out clean. I'm trying to get about a 30-second off the knife line, so the last drive of the chisel right to the knife line will stay nice and perpendicular. All right, so now I'm gonna go right to the knife line on the back wall now, drive down, and then we'll come back and clean out the floor. And because we do the back first, it acts like a stop cut, and those chips just will release nicely right in the back. I'm just feeling that chisel seat nicely right in that marking gauge knife line. And when that's done, I want to make sure I'm cleaning deep into the corner. So I usually take just a small 1/4 inch chisel. You could use a fishtail type chisel, but that seems to do the trick. Back this way. I don't need to touch the front edge because I sawed right to the knife line. But this is the point where if I see I'm a little larger on the pin, I can set my chisel and clean it up straight back. And there you go. We'll continue this way right across the whole panel.